Welcome to the AI for Career Success podcast by Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. This is episode 183. I'm your host, Fred Jones.
And I'm Daphne Blake.
And Daphne, looking at the source material for today, I'm feeling a mix of real excitement and maybe just a little bit of existential dread.
That's usually the sign of a good topic in the AI space, Fred.
It is. So what are we getting into today?
Well, today we are looking at a really fascinating interview. It's titled How and Why I Built PAI with Nathan Labenz. It was on the YouTube channel Unsupervised Learning.
Okay, and that's Daniel Miessler's channel, right? The cybersecurity expert.
Exactly. The source is a conversation between the host, Nathan Labenz, and Daniel Miessler himself. And for anyone who doesn't know him, Miessler is he's a huge voice in this space, founder of Unsupervised Learning, author of The Real World of AI.
Yeah, I followed his work for a while. He's known for being, let's just say, very direct.
Direct is a good word for it. This is a great interview, but it's 2 hours long. We realize a lot of IT professionals and knowledge workers don't have a spare 2 hours, so we've summarized the most important parts of the interview in only about 10 minutes.
Which is good because we should probably jump right into the heavy stuff. He starts with this idea, this threat to knowledge work. And honestly, Daphne, it feels like a slap in the face. He says that for most companies, the ideal number of employees is 0.
It sounds so harsh, doesn't it? But his logic is, it's pretty straightforward if you think about it from a founder's perspective.
How so?
He argues that if a founder could just scale their own ability infinitely, like clone themselves, they wouldn't hire anyone. Hiring is just a way to deal with the friction you can't handle on your own.
Right, so hiring is basically an admission of failure on your own part to scale.
In a way, yeah. And his point is that AI is what finally allows a single person to scale their own agency. It brings us back to what he calls a more natural state.
A natural state where we're all sort of one-person companies powered by AI agents? Okay, that brings us to the most uncomfortable term in this whole thing. The ZMP worker.
Zero marginal product. Yeah, this is the part that's going to sting for a lot of people.
You telling me?
Miessler's argument is that the bar to replace the average knowledge worker is, and this is his point, extremely low.
Ouch. I mean, come on, I like to think I add value.
We all do, Fred. But think about a typical day. How much of it is really deep creative work versus just, maintenance?
You mean sorting emails and sitting in meetings that could have been emails?
Right. He calls it corporate Game of Thrones. You're just moving information around. You're not actually creating new value. And if that's your job,
Then you're in that zero marginal product zone.
you're just keeping the lights on. And an AI can do that very, very cheaply.
Okay, but here's my question, Daphne. If the bar is so low and these models are so smart, why haven't we all been replaced yet? I use them every day. They're amazing, but they can't actually do my job from start to finish.
And that is the single most important insight in this whole interview. He says it's not about the model.
What do you mean it's not about the model? That's all anyone talks about.
I know. But he says the real bottleneck isn't raw intelligence. It's what he calls the scaffolding.
Scaffolding. Okay, what does he mean by that?
Think of it like a harness. Right now, a human worker, you're dealing with chaos. You're coding 1 minute, then you get a Slack message, then you have to deal with an HR issue.
Total context switching.
Yep.
All day long.
Exactly. An AI model is brilliant, but it's like a brain in a jar. It can do the one task, but it can't handle all that messy context switching. It doesn't have the harness.
So the big breakthrough isn't a smarter AI. It's a better system for the AI to work within.
Precisely. He predicts AGI won't just be a smarter model, it will be a product release. A scaffolding system that lets an AI onboard like an employee, attend meetings, and understand the goal.
Wow. Okay, so that leads us directly to what he's building.
Yeah.
PAI.
Personal AI infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yes. And to explain it, he uses this fantastic analogy. He calls it the alien with a clipboard.
I love this. Okay, let's do it. You be the alien.
Okay. So I'm an alien. I land on Earth. I walk up to you, Fred, and I ask, who are you? What do you say?
I'd say, I'm a podcast host or I'm in IT.
And right there, the alien writes you down as an NPC, a non-player character.
Wait, I'm an NPC for telling you my job.
Yep, because you defined yourself by your function in someone else's system. The alien doesn't care about your job. It wants to know your telos.
Telos, that's a Greek word, right? For like your ultimate purpose.
Exactly. What's your goal? What do you believe? What are you trying to build? Most people are waiting for instructions. PAI is about defining your own instructions first.
So how does it work? Is it an app or
This is the surprising part. It's basically a system built on markdown files.
Text files. Daphne, you're telling me the future of AI is running on text files.
I know it sounds a little backward, but it's actually brilliant. He says you have to think about it in terms of lossless versus lossy. Most AI systems use vector databases. They chop up your documents into little pieces and then, guess which piece is most relevant. It's lossy. You lose the full context.
Right, it's a statistical guess.
But a text file is lossless. You write down exactly who you are, what your projects are, what your skills are. Then you feed that whole user manual for Fred into the AI every single time.
So the AI isn't guessing. It has my complete operating instructions from the start.
Exactly. He gave an example of a friend, a cardiologist who does bug bounties. He fed his entire specific methodology into his PAI. The result, it massively increased his payouts because the AI wasn't just finding bugs, it was finding bugs the way he does.
It was scaling his specific genius, not just general intelligence.
That's the whole idea.
Let's take a brief break for a special message from our producer, Curt Robbins.
Hi, this is Curt Robbins. First, thanks for listening. I truly appreciate your support. I want to let you know that I'm currently accepting new clients. My rates are affordable, and I have more than 25 years of experience working for enterprise companies like Microsoft, Northrop Grumman, Oracle, PNC Bank, FedEx, USAA, and Wells Fargo, among many others. If you want to improve your IT documentation and communications, hire me. I deliver fast, know how to use AI to improve efficiency and accuracy, and love going the extra mile to satisfy my clients. Thank you for subscribing and listening. Back to you, Daphne and Fred.
Welcome back to the AI for Career Success podcast. So, Daphne, we've talked about the personal infrastructure side of this, but Miessler's background is in cybersecurity, and he had some, frankly, terrifying things to say about that.
He did. And if you work in IT security, this is the part where you should probably sit up and pay very close attention.
He basically said humans are obsolete in security now, right?
In terms of speed, absolutely. We're in a new kind of arms race. It's not human versus human anymore. It's the attacker AI stack versus the defender AI stack.
And the scale is just, it's hard to wrap your head around.
It is. Think about this. An attacker can use an AI to spin up 256 different, completely bespoke social engineering campaigns in a few minutes.
They're not 256 emails, 256 campaigns.
Entire campaigns. The AI can scan your social media, Fred, so you just got a new dog, and then craft a perfect phishing email from the shelter using the dog's name.
And it does that for everyone in the company, instantly and all at once.
Yes. A human can't possibly defend against that. You can't read the logs fast enough.
So how do you fight back?
You fight an AI with an AI. He says the only way to survive is to have your own internal AI stack with a home court advantage.
Home court advantage. I like that.
Your AI has access to everything on the inside. The AWS logs, the network traffic. It can see the attack forming and patch the hole before the attacking AI even finds it. It's a machine speed game.
So your job isn't reading logs anymore. Your job is building the AI that reads the logs.
You are now the architect of the defense system. That's the new job.
Okay, so speaking of architects, he seems to really favor one particular company for building all this.
Yeah.
He's very focused on Anthropic and Claude. Why them?
It all comes back to that human-first idea. He believes Anthropic just gets the interface between humans and AI better than anyone else.
Better than Google or OpenAI?
That's his take. He feels Google has an amazing backend, but struggles with empathy in their products. And he sees OpenAI as more focused on consumer devices. Anthropic, he argues, is building that collaborative scaffolding we talked about.
Interesting. And that collaboration is based on something he called the universal algorithm. Sounds pretty grand.
It does, but the concept is actually very simple. It's a loop. Current state, desired state.
Okay. Break that down for me.
The PAI is constantly asking, where is Fred now? Where does he want to be? And how do I close that gap?
So it's not just taking orders. It's actively trying to help me achieve my goals.
Yes, and it even uses little scripts, he calls them hooks, to analyze your sentiment. If you sound frustrated in your prompts, the system knows it's on the wrong track and it self-corrects.
That's incredible. It's like an assistant that can actually read the room.
It's all about agency. And that leads to his final point, which, after all the doom and gloom, was surprisingly optimistic. He calls it the slack in the rope.
Yeah, I was surprised by this part. After starting with 0 employees, I expected a darker ending.
Me too. But he says we all feel like humanity is at its limit. We're burned out. We think we've discovered everything.
I definitely feel maxed out most days.
Right. But he argues we are likely operating at about 1.7% of our total potential efficiency.
1.7%, that seems impossibly low.
It does, but think about all that friction, all that ZMP work, the emails, the meetings, the miscommunications. If AI scaffolding can remove all of that friction.
We're not just a little more productive. It's a step change in human capability.
Exactly. There is so much slack in the rope of human potential, but it requires a big shift in our mindset.
Which is the call to action, I guess.
It is. He says to stop being a consumer, stop waiting for the perfect product to be handed to you. Become a creator. Start building the infrastructure that knows you today.
Start writing down your telos. Create those text files.
Exactly. Be the player, not the NPC. Define who you are so the AI can help you become who you want to be.
Wow. That's a powerful way to look at it. It's both terrifying and incredibly empowering at the same time.
It really is.
Thank you for listening to the AI for Career Success podcast from Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. We'll see you next time.